Hey guys, Huzz here bringing you another video, and welcome to what is my final video about Arcane. So I'm actually going to be uploading this tonight, the same day the premiere of the finale has come out, and I have just finished it myself. And I'm supposed to be streaming right now. I'm a bit late to my stream, but I just thought I have to talk about this. I have to talk about it while it's fresh in my mind, get my thoughts out there for later on. So what I would say before we get into the story is I watch a lot of series. It's one of my joys in life to watch movies and series, and there's been a lot of series out there, and I know this is only one season, but very high standard. You know, Game of Thrones, I think we all kind of remember fondly. But it's very rare to have a series live up to what you think it will be when you watch episode 1, and it follows the whole way through. And that is Arcane Season 1. Now, if there are going to be more seasons, which we'll talk about in a bit, because there is a bit of a hint that there may be, I just think it was flawless. Like, I don't know how many of you have been following the critics of, like, what people have been scoring Arcane, but if you're not aware, it is a 10 on pretty much everywhere. On IMDb, the internet database for movie, whatever, it's a 9.8. It's the second highest ranking show ever. And, you know, who knows, this finale might put it over the edge and maybe get number 1. And on Rotten Tomatoes, the website that amalgamates all critic scores and user scores, it had 100 in critic score and a 98 in user score. One, it's unheard of that usually if something's really good, normally the user score will be higher than the critic score. So it just shows the absolute insane quality that this show had. And what I think is really powerful about the show, you don't have to like League. It is a good story and you are so intertwined with it, even without League. I have friends of mine that actually ask me, they're like, should I watch it? I don't play League. I'm like, yeah, give it a go. And they're loving it. So, yeah. So, what I would say is if you enjoyed Arcane, please do let me know in the comments. Let me know by liking the video, and let's have a nice chat about it. Obviously, spoilers are going to be in the comments and what I'm going to talk about. So if you've not yet watched it, please do. Yeah, it's absolutely mad. So let's talk about it. So I did say in episode 2 of me talking about Arcane that there's a lot that they had to kind of come together and wrap up into a bow if they were to complete everything. And if that was the idea for season 1, then they had a lot to do. And the fact is, they didn't finish every storyline. So, again, that kind of makes maybe a season 2 possible. But we've had a start to a lot of things. So we've seen Victor's descent into what he eventually becomes. So he is, intertwined himself with the Hextech magic. His leg is now fully Hextech, his arm, and there is, obviously, as we saw, the device, the Hex Core, has some type of control over him already. That it can knock him out or can control his limbs, and that is probably more going to be the descent to what he becomes. Now, obviously, Victor did tell Jace, please destroy the Hex Core, but we never saw that yet. I think Jace had some bigger things to do, so the Hex Core is still probably about. So that's Victor. Echo. So we all guessed that Echo was going to be the leader of the Fireflies, and that was a pretty obvious guess. His outfit is actually very similar. Taking away the mask is very similar to his actual League of Legends outfit. And that's obviously the benefit of being a League player. We do know storylines, we do know these characters, and we do know what potentially is the future of these characters. But Echo obviously didn't get his time power yet, which a lot of people said he might. I thought myself he had the gem, but obviously no, he has not got it, which I did mention in the last discussion episode. For that to happen, there would have had to be a time skip. Like, suddenly he can invent a time machine? Probably not. So I'm fine with Echo not getting his time powers, but obviously we've left the series with Heimer not being a counselor anymore, is now part of Echo's Fireflies. In essence, he's joined that community, and they're in a community of inventors. And that, to me, is probably where Heimer does belong, because they are building stuff to survive, to make their lives better, and that's what Heimer did believe in, but he didn't believe in the danger side of it. So if there is a season 2, do expect those two to continue working together, and that is probably eventually how Echo gets his time power, is working with Heimer, with then having a Hex Core or a Hex Gem. So that is that storyline. Other storylines, so we obviously had Mel, the council woman, A lot of people were like, that's LeBlanc. It's 100% LeBlanc. Look at the art. Blah. So she's not LeBlanc by what we can tell. She's just a daughter of a Noxian general who was a very cool character, showed the ruthlessness of Noxus, but also the human side. So a big part of Mel has been trying to prove her worth as a person of, I was sent away, I was banished. And the mum admitted, the general or whatever admitted that she sent her away because she was making the mum weaker. That the eyes of her daughter looking at her when she's killing people, she just couldn't cope with it anymore because she saw humanity in her daughter and she was like, this ain't good. Eventually I'm probably going to crack and not do the Noxus way if I keep my daughter around. So there's the humanity side there. They're still human in the Noxus generals, I guess. So again, that's opening that world up. A lot of people have mentioned in the series there are so many ravens around, which is noticeable. And where's ravens come into it? Swain. So who knows? Swain may be watching. Noxus is involved in this series clearly, and maybe Swain with his ravens is watching what's going on. You never know. But Mel's storyline obviously is complex. She wants to do good. She wants to prove her worth. And right at the end, which we'll get to in a bit, she obviously takes off the Noxus ring. That was a big thing, I think, for her. She was still holding on to the fact that she was Noxian, but now she can let go and she can be who she wants to be. She grew out of that phase of having to prove it to Noxus, having to prove it to her mother. She can prove it to herself. But obviously, we'll see how that goes considering the ending. Other storylines. So, obviously, we have the Vi and Jinx storyline, I guess the main one. So, yeah, I made the prediction that obviously there would be some type of team-up. Jace would have his hammer, and obviously Vi would get the gauntlets, and that does become true. A lot of people I do know were wanting Vi to get her gauntlets in the original way of literally it being in a mining camp, but I think this way was fine. They are built for a mining facility, and Vi has obviously changed them to be her punching gauntlets. So I think that's fine, honestly. Jace's hammer was cool. Personally, I thought they weren't going to do the cannon form, but they did. So I literally was cheering when he was doing the cannon form, but obviously the disaster of him unfortunately killing an innocent child. Obviously, all children are innocent in war. And, he did kill that kid, and that's kind of where Jace's whole mental of, like, this is too much now, obviously went down that route, and then you have the Vi and Jace split. But that scene was really good. The fighting scene, the music that goes along with all these episodes is absolutely insanely good. And I don't think I'm allowed to play it on stream, unfortunately. I do think a lot of the music is copyright because it's a Netflix series. But that was good. Obviously, Caitlyn. I think I'm not bold in saying Caitlyn and Vi have a thing. I think that's pretty clear right now. They said, Jinx has said, I've visited your girlfriend this morning. So I guess by canon, Vi and Caitlyn, are pretty much together. Obviously, we'll see if there is a season 2 and if that storyline continues, but that's cool. So again, representation is an important thing, and just having that is very, very important. So that's really good to see. I think everybody probably was at the beginning of the series guessing. It's like, oh, Caitlyn and Jace, easy peasy. No, Caitlyn and Vi, which is cool. So there's that. So Jinx obviously has always been, in this series at least, struggling with who she is. Who is she? Is she Powder? Is she Jinx? Obviously, she's a great mind of an inventor, and Piltover, rightfully so, are scared of what she could do with the Hex technology. And she has always been weighing up who she is and which side is she on. And I think she came to the ultimate conclusion that obviously Vi technically created Jinx by the actions that happened in a lot of Act 1. But then when she did kill the main bad guy, again, memory draws a blank right now, which is bad. Oh, Silco. I think she realised that, he's gone, but I'm still actually, I feel the same. I'm Jinx. So Jinx is Jinx, and obviously she fired the Super Death Mega Rocket at the Council. Good aim, by the way. Cross-map Pentakill, potentially. But no, so that is going to be an interesting dynamic if this storyline continues. Is Jinx now the crime lord under city person? We'll see. Obviously, Singed is still about. So there's a lot of storylines to talk about, and as I've always said, I don't structure these videos because it's just my raw feelings about them. So just to mention a couple off things before I give like my thoughts about what could come, and then obviously the ending. So just to mention, right at the end, they did show some of the characters that didn't have their storylines quite wrapped up. I think that's the idea, that like little montage at the end. And dude, we saw Warwick. Like 110% we saw Warwick. So Singed was like looking up, and lo and behold, there's a claw of a Warwick, and then there's like kind of Vander's face, like his side profile. So he arguably isn't fully Warwick yet, but that is like 100% confirmed that Vander's Warwick, like just straight up. So this is the thing, if they do a season 2, which the success of the show, from what I know, is immense. I've had very, very, very small conversations with some writers, but like they are very happy with how it's gone. And this is where I said, I'd want them to move on in season 2 to a different storyline. I don't think I would. I need this storyline to continue. I need to see Warwick, like, completely. I need to see what happens now to the council. I need to see that. And that's, I think, maybe the direction they're going. And you can know, there's easy ways of doing it. Is obviously they introduce Noxus at the end of this season. You could introduce more of Noxus at the end of season 2, and then season 3 is you go away from Piltover and now you're a Noxus. Like, you can do it that way also. But yeah, we did see Vander, and that's the biggest thing that I was like, I don't know why I'm so obsessed with seeing Vander in this series. I just thought it would be very interesting. And yeah, we did, but we obviously haven't seen him interact with anybody or interact with the girls. But anyway, I digress. The end of the show, or the end of the story, was obviously, yeah, Jinx firing her super death mega rocket at the council, and it ends on that is going to blow up. Now, this is the thing when it comes to lore with League and this series Arcane, is from what we understand, it's a little bit before the events of League of Legends, but League of Legends in itself is a weird lore pocket, maybe like a pocket dimension, who knows. But like, is this a one-off storyline that isn't technically canon? Because imagine if all those councillors died. Well, then Victor's dead, Jace is dead. There's 2 League champions there that are dead. So that's where I don't... something has to happen. And my guess of what, like, when I was watching it, and, who was in that council room? So Mel was in there, the other council was in there, and Jace and Victor. So my guess is... Well, obviously, Mel's gold plating on her back was like lighting up, but I don't think that was like a defense mechanism. I think that was just the lighting of a rocket about to explode into the window. I'm guessing if they do a season 2, and I don't think all those councillors are going to survive, and I arguably would say Mel will probably die, unfortunately. But I think the other councillors will probably pass. I could only see Jace and Victor surviving that, probably due to Victor being Hextech imbued, and probably having like weirdly a defense mechanism, or like his arm and leg do something to defend himself and maybe Jace. That's my only guess, is like, because and then that will obviously uncover. Jace would be like, what the hell? Like, boom, big boom. But like, Victor, what's happened to you? And then you start getting more of the separation between Jace and Victor. And then obviously Victor will eventually become what we know of him from the League game. So, I don't know. Like, there's so much to talk about. There's so much to take in. I just, again, have to give props to Riot. The music, I'll say, is probably... I'm not going to say it's the best thing about the show, but it makes the show. That's the word. That's what I would say, is the music creates way more power in moments that I think just the animation does. Like, the animation's fantastic and gorgeous, but the music just adds that extra layer that I just think makes it even better. Like, uncomparable, really, to anything else. Well, the only thing that I could actually compare it to is Into the Spider-Verse. So the animated Sony Spider-Man with Miles Morales. This is of that quality easily, and it's a whole series. It's not just an hour and a half, 2-hour film. These are 40-minute episodes to 9 episodes. That's absolutely madness that they've kept up that quality the entire time. So I don't really, well done. So what is my rating now that I've watched, season 1 of Arcane? Genuinely, a 10. Like, it is. Like, now that the story of season 1 is finished, yes, I did think that, oh, if I didn't see that storyline come together or that storyline come together, I'd be a bit disappointed. No, I'm not. Like, it makes me want to see more. It makes me want to go, please do a season 2. Please do a season 2. So that's the point, is that I do hope that they do a season 2. But here's the thing about that, is these animated shows, unsurprisingly, take a long time to make. The animation is absolutely insane. It's keyframe animation, probably, which takes a very long time. It might be mocap, but I doubt it. There's probably some type of AI actually nowadays that helps towards animation, but it takes a long time. And if they were a bit skeptical, like, how's it going to go? Will there be a season 2? Again, one thing I didn't do is watch right till the end of the credits, because like Netflix kind of makes you go away from that. Who knows? Maybe right at the end of the credits, I can literally try and find it right now. Maybe at the end of it, I missed it. It's like, there will be a season 2. So let me do that right now. Episode 9, and I'll mute it. There we go. All right, I'm going right to the end of the credits. And again, stop it, Netflix. Are we showing anything at the end? There's 10 seconds to go. 5 seconds to go. Is there any, like, season 2 is coming? Nope. There is no... Right at the end, there's nothing like, and continue in season 2. So, I don't know if Riot have, like... Well, I don't know if they would have had the confidence to already bankroll a season 2 without knowing if season 1 was going to be a great success. Because for it to be a great success, by the way, I don't think it just has to be popular within the League world. I think it does have to become quite big around the world from a non-League point. And it is doing really well. Like on Netflix, it's been trending in the top 10 in many countries. Here in the UK, I've been looking at that top 10. I've only seen it there once, and it was 10th place, and then later in the day it disappeared. So maybe with the finale, maybe it'll gain a bit of traction. I don't know. I know in America it has broken the top 10, which that's the big one for Riot, I think. But I do hope they do a season 2. But if they do, because it's popular, it's good, it's now going to be probably another couple years at least until we get a season 2. Because if they haven't started it yet, they now have to start the whole animation process now. They probably have done the story. I'd imagine, like, they probably had the story in place of where the show could go before even season 1 came out, just in case. But, yeah. Absolutely magical show. I want more. What I think also made the show brilliant is the little moments. The little moments. So, when Vi was in the bar fighting the robot arm woman, the little moment with Vanda talking to her, like a memory of, and like a ghost guru saying you can kind of do it, she still needs you. Those little moments, they add up massively. Like, would I have ever put Heimer and Echo together? No. But the moment that Heimer trips over the hoverboard, and then he's fascinated with Echo because he made the hoverboard. He's fascinated of, wow, you could do this? And goes into their area, and it's like, wait, you've done this in your small lifetime? Literally his words. And yeah, he did. So Heimer, that's a small moment of two characters from vastly different backgrounds coming together, but it makes the show weirdly human. So I just think it's... I can't stress enough how much I love this series. So my idea, I've watched all 9 episodes now, so I'm probably gonna rewatch all of them. I might give it a couple days, but I'm probably going to rewatch it again. So there's really not much that I think I would have wanted different. Pretty much nothing. Like, I'm not a storyteller. I'm a story watcher. And I don't think there's anything that I would have been like, oh, that should have been... No, like, there's nothing. I think we saw every character portrayed in the way that they should be portrayed. Like, they are slightly different here or there from their League counterparts. Because League is very one-dimensional. Like, we have voice lines and a very brief story that hardly anybody's read of each character. This is the characters. Jace is, too ambitious and egocentric in many ways. Victor is wanting to survive, and that is his main drive at the moment, but he also wants to help people, and obviously that becomes a problem, and he gets corrupted, and he probably then gets very obsessed with the revolution of Zorn. We know that. Heimer is perfectly what I actually expected him to be. Echo is fantastic as a character. Like, I just think brilliant. He became a bit ruthless because he had to survive. He had to do it by himself, and he's built a community like Vanda did. Like, that's the idea. Echo, weirdly, is a new Vanda in a slightly different way. Jinx and Vi, I think, obviously pulled, like, brilliant. Like, the actors, both actresses, I think, voiced them immensely well. The animation portrayed the characters in what we expected. Vi is that rough around the edges character, but that has the heart of gold, like Vanda. Like, she is. That's the way to define Vi. And Jinx is a very, very complex character that, do you blame her in some way? Yes. But do you fully blame her? No, from what she's been through. But she's a genius mind. Like, the only thing I will say, which isn't a negative, is she literally is Harley Quinn. That's the only thing. Like, she even sounds like Harley Quinn, that kind of New York, Brooklyn kind of vibe. She is very, very, very Harley Quinn. So if there are people watching who don't know don't know League, I do guarantee there's a lot of people going like, wait, is that Harley Quinn? Or a lot of people are going to be like, she's inspired by Harley Quinn massively. And that's the thing, she is. League, Riot, when they make characters, they have to take inspiration from somewhere. And when Vi and Jinx were created, there was always the rumor that they were sisters. Riot never confirmed that rumor. It obviously was confirmed later with Arcane fully. But when they first made Jinx, it is the Harley Quinn inspiration in mind. That's not a bad thing. Harley Quinn is a very good character. So, yeah. So to end it, and again, I might have missed some things, and if I did, do discuss them in the comments. All the storylines did see some type of progression in Act 3, but not every storyline saw a close. And that, to me, opens the door to a Season 2. I don't exactly know, by the way, what a Season 2 would be. So, we obviously, Vi escaped with Caitlyn, or Caitlyn uncut Vi from the ropes, and they're watching the missile go into the council. So clearly those two will try to make their way back to see what the damage has done. Again, Victor and Jace have to survive, so they will still be about. Jinx now may become properly bad, becomes the crime lord, and she may be the villain properly moving forward, not Silco, with obviously him out the picture. We obviously still have, Victor turns to madness eventually, so he may side with Jinx. We do know Victor's also incentive is the revolution and the rise of Zorn, the Zorn Empire. He would have maybe heard talking of, there's this deal with Silco that we can give the Zorn Empire to them. And maybe that's going to be Victor with his descent goes, I'm going there, sides of Jinx, which I don't know if that is technically in the law, but that there has to be a way that Victor makes it to Zorn in his robotic magic state. Well, I actually don't know if he has magic. I think it's just technology, technically. But yeah, and then obviously, the Warwick thing. So with Vanda becoming Warwick, what will that do? Will that do something to Jinx and Vi? Will they know? Will there be an interaction? Is there ever a world that Warwick, as the monster, talks to Jinx and Vi? Obviously, he does speak. We can hear it in League. He remembers very few things. And if they work out, it is him. The only thing I would say is in the show is, because it's made for the masses, we saw at the end, obviously, it was Vanda's kind of face on the Warwick arm body. Will they keep it like that? So will they not go full Warwick wolf? Will they keep it Vanda's kind of face, but maybe make it a bit wolf-like? Would they go that way? So the average reviewer is like, oh my god, that's that guy from Act 1, it's Vanda. When we all know, oh, that's Warwick. But maybe, I don't know. But yeah, please give me Season 2 right. Like, that's all I want to know. Please. And I can see this show lasting a very long time. The quality is there, clearly. It could become a very big show. The more word of mouth it happens, the more that you tell your friend, oh no, you should watch it even if you don't play League, the more likely it's going to get traction. The more likely that they'll keep making seasons. But well done. Like, honestly, Riot is kicking it out the bag at the moment with Arcane, with the new games that have just come out, with so many good things around the corner. Like, I will say, I have had my frustrations of being a League of Legends content creator, but my god, it does feel like it's paying off a little bit now in the world that we're getting. That I hope to share this with you guys. I hope I can make these videos talking about these series that Riot may do and the other games that they may do, because I love League. That's why I've done it for so long, even though I have, as I said, had my frustrations with the game. I love the game. Like, that's the point. I'm only frustrated in it because I love it so much as much as I do. So yeah, I hope to share this with you for years to come. So if you guys did enjoy Arcane Season 1, do throw a like on the video. Let me know what you think down below. Give me your theories, anything different than what I said. And if I did miss any storyline, because again, I literally just finished watching it, so it's hard to remember everything, but I think I got most of it. Please do throw a like on the video, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Call down the reckoning.